The next speaker is Brandon Straka from the Walkaway Foundation. And I'm going to let you can tell you his own story. But this really sums up more than anything else. By the way, it makes me cringe that Kamala Harris with freedom commercials, all on the issue of abortion, when every single other issue, they're trying to take away our freedoms. All right, let's get it up for Brandon Straka from Walkaway.
What's going on, Freedom Fest? How's everybody doing? Nice, nice. I think Lucretia Hughes got everybody kind of woken up, which is nice. Good talking with all of you guys. My name is Brandon Straka. I am the founder of the Walkaway campaign. We are the largest national movement of former Democrats walking away from the Democratic Party, which has become the party of hatred, division, vitriol, violence, chaos, who are destroying America's values. Socialism, Marxism, communism. We must defeat the Democrat Party, and the time is now, ladies and gentlemen. I want to tell you guys a little bit about my story and what my experience has been the last 6 years. And the reason why I want to tell you guys this is because what I have lived through and what I have endured is the prototype of what the Democrats would want to do to every person in this country if they are allowed to retain power. And we must stop them from retaining power. 6 years ago, I started a movement called #Walkaway because, all right, in 2016, I voted for Hillary Clinton. See, you guys think that those boos hurt my feelings, but they don't. Because there's a happy ending to this story. I voted for Hillary Clinton after voting for Barack Obama twice. Yeah, it gets worse. And in 2016, when Donald Trump got elected, I basically went into a state of shock and complete horror and dismay, and I was terrified. Because the media that I trusted, sources like MSNBC, CNN, the New York Times, why didn't you guys just boo me through my whole speech? How's that? No, I get it. Actually, I get it. Don't worry. No, but the sources of media that I trusted up until that point told me two things. Number one, that Hillary Clinton was going to win in a landslide, that Donald Trump had about a 3% chance of winning. And number two, that Donald Trump was the closest thing to Hitler that had ever run for office in American history. And I believed every word that they said. Hook, line, and sinker. So I didn't understand how it was possible that anybody in America would go out and vote for somebody as horrible as the left-wing media told me that Donald Trump was. In January of 2017, right around the time that Trump was about to take office, I went on Facebook and I posted that I would never be able to understand why anyone would vote for a man who was capable of mocking a reporter's disability in front of a cheering crowd. And at that moment, a woman who actually used to babysit me when I was a baby, a staunch Christian conservative named Diane, who I had had many fights with over the years on social media, reached out to me privately. And she sent me a link to a video that was titled, "Debunking that Trump Mocked the Disabled Reporter." Now, when I read this, just the title of the video, I became enraged because I thought, okay, more Fox News brainwashing, more right-wing propaganda. But then I actually watched the video. And the video was a compilation of footage of Donald Trump doing that exact same voice and that exact same gesture as he had done that day at his rally when they accused him of mocking a reporter's disability. But the commonality in every instance was that Donald Trump was engaging in a voice and a gesture that he had done numerous times throughout the years, even long before he ran for president, when he was imitating somebody who was flailing because they were caught in a lie, because they did something shady or dishonest. So this video showed me very clearly that Donald Trump did not mock a reporter's disability. What he did was make fun of the fact that that reporter, who happened to be disabled, was caught in a lie, caught doing something shady or dishonest. Now, this created a huge conundrum for me because CNN had never lied to me before. So what the hell went wrong at CNN on that day? And this sent me on a long journey of research for many, many months, which ultimately led to me realizing that the media that I had been trusting my entire life had been lying to me and deceiving me and manipulating me. And not just me, but tens of millions of Americans all across the country. But it gets much, much worse. Because if you are black or brown or LGBT or an immigrant or a woman, if you belong to any kind of minority class in this country, the Democrats and the left-wing media are intentionally deceiving us through constant fear-mongering, constantly making us believe that our rights are going to be taken away, that people like Donald Trump and his supporters hate black people, hate brown people, hate anybody in this country who's different. And when I realized that not only were they lying to us and deceiving us, but they were intentionally dividing us along lines of race and identity politics and keeping people suspended in a state of fear so that they could control black people and brown people the way that they think and the way that they feel and the way that they vote. When I realized this, I became so outraged and I decided to do something about it. And hell hath no fury like a gay man scorned by the Democrat Party. So I put out a 6-minute video talking about all the reasons why I was walking away from liberalism in the Democratic Party, and I started a movement called the Walk Away Campaign, encouraging other people to band together, tell their stories, speak out. And over the course of years, we grew to hundreds of thousands of people, over 500,000 people who joined our movement, with tens of thousands of videos and written testimonials of people saying they can no longer support the Democratic Party of today. It's time to walk away. Thank you. As Walkaway grew and grew, so did my public profile, so did my voice. And I was asked to be a speaker at a permitted event on Capitol grounds on January 6th. So I went to the Capitol on January 6th to stand up for my president, to stand up for my country, and to stand up for the American voter who were having their voices stolen by a political machine that is steamrolling over the American people. I did not enter the Capitol on January 6th. I stood outside of the building for 8 minutes filming a video of a crowd of people walking through open doors. And I uploaded that video to Twitter. Imagine my surprise 2.5 weeks later when a team of FBI agents in tactical gear stormed my apartment at dawn, got me out of bed, put me in handcuffs, and told me they were taking me to jail because I was facing multiple felony charges for what I did on January 6th. I said, felonies? I said, I didn't even commit any crimes. The FBI said, oh, we saw your video. We saw what you did. So they took me to jail and put me in jail on 24-hour lockdown for 2.5 days before I was released, and began the process of going through what ended up being a 2-year-long, well, I'm still going through it, but a 2-year-long nightmare with the DOJ that resulted in me pleading guilty to a misdemeanor charge of disorderly conduct with an intent to disrupt a hearing before Congress. Now, that might sound like a happy ending to you because you might think to yourself, it's a misdemeanor charge, not the end of the world, right? Here's the problem. Joe Biden took office 5 days before the FBI raided my house. The Democrats took full control of the federal government. Not only did I go through a case that lasted years and led to me pleading guilty to crimes I did not commit, but I was permanently banned by PayPal, Venmo, Stripe, Patriot, Facebook, Instagram, 5 different email services. TSA gave me a designation of Quad S, which is the highest level terrorism list you could be on and still be allowed to fly. Which means when I go to the airports, I have to go through hours of secondary screening just to be able to board a plane. And when I get through the screening, they have a team of agents follow me around the airport everywhere I go, testing me for explosive materials and treating me like I'm a terrorist. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you know what goes on in China, communist China or not, but they give social credit scores to people that they believe to be opponents of the regime. I was deemed to be an opponent of the Joe Biden regime. So I don't need to read stories about what happens to people in China who are given social credit scores or who are the victims of fascist communist regimes. It's already happened to me. I was already rounded up by agents in tactical gear. I was already taken to jail. I was already unpersoned and not allowed to exist on social media or have a bank account or send and receive money or send and receive emails. For 8 minutes of standing non-violently outside of the Capitol on January 6th. So I'm telling you this because I want you to realize, I know a lot of people will come out, they'll talk about how important this election is. They'll talk about how important it is that we save America, and they're right. Everything that they will tell you is true. But I want you to know what is real. And what happened to me is real. And it is happening to hundreds of people all across the country who went to DC on January 6th. It is happening to people who kept their businesses open during a draconian government shutdown. It's happening to people who decided to go to church during 2020 when the government told them they weren't allowed to go to church. It's happening to people who stand up for God or stand against abortion or any other issues that the Joe Biden, Kamala Harris regime has deemed to be unacceptable and inappropriate. Ladies and gentlemen, please heed my warning. What happened to me could happen to you. It could happen to every person here. You don't have to be guilty of a crime for them to come after you. But here's the good news. We can stop this. We can stop it now. And here's what we do. We have less than 2 months left. I need every single person here today and everybody watching on social media to have every conversation that you can possibly have with every human being that you know. Send emails, send text messages, initiate conversations with people at the grocery store, in the gas pump, everywhere that you go. And yes, call your deranged libtard relatives and talk to them too. Please let me be living proof that nobody is unsavable. Trust me, I was crying when Donald Trump got elected. Now, I cannot wait to go into the voting booth and vote for Donald J. Trump. In November of 2024, just like I did in November of 2020. And I also want to end today on a happy note and tell you, there's a big problem in general with the conservative mindset. I've seen it for years and years and years. They'll target somebody to attack them. They'll remove them from social media. They'll brutalize them in the media. All of these things happen to me. And you know what so many conservatives do? They curl up in a ball and they die. And they go away. And they allow themselves to be canceled. They allow themselves to be destroyed. Let me say very clearly, I did not work as hard as I worked and build everything that I build so that it could be taken away by a group of Marxists who think that they're going to step in and end the story of me, walk away, and my life. I will never stop fighting for America because America is worth it. And I will fight every day until my last breath, until I don't have a single breath left in my body. I will go down fighting. Walk away is here. We are still fighting. We're coming back stronger every day. We have RFK walking away. We have Tulsi Gabbard walking away. Every single day, Alan Dershowitz. We have public officials in Georgia and Texas and California. We are still being flooded every day with testimonials from people saying, this Democrat Party is not the party that I remember. This is not what I signed up for. This is a communist, Marxist coup takeover of a party that is attempting to take over our country. And we have to fight and fight and fight and fight like hell to stop them and to save America. And I'm going to end today by doing the exact same thing that Lucretia Hughes did. I want to hear all of you. Fight! 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 Despite everything that I have been through, I'm not giving up. I picked myself up, I dusted myself off, and I got the hell back out on the battlefield. And that's exactly where I intend to stay. And I need all of you to be there with me. Fight for your country. Vote for Donald J. Trump in November. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.